Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Rick. Welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm gonna make this intro short and sweet because I know you guys are looking at the length of the video and you're wondering, Rick, the f you doing? We're gonna be reacting to this video from Carl called Catgirl Officially Banned for Cheating, but in reality, this video is exposing Call of Shame. And I gotta let you guys know, as a fan of Call of Shame or previous fan of Call of Shames, this video is actually insane, and I gotta let you guys know it's not looking good. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below. You're not gonna want to miss a single second of this, I promise you. But other than that, let's get into this video, man.
Hello, you absolute legends. A few weeks ago, I released a video covering the alleged Battlefield 6 cheater Riley
You made
CS,
a video on that one too,
where I went through and debunked the biggest myths and misconceptions that were being spread. And at the end of the video, I said this. On the flip side, Riley hasn't been banned in-game, which could be used as evidence that she isn't cheating, especially given that according to their anti-cheat team, they have already prevented over 300,000 attempts to cheat already. Well, shortly after I released that video, I started getting flooded with comments saying that Riley had been officially banned. I even got comments saying that Riley had confessed and had been kicked off her team. And
What?
indeed, it has been confirmed that Riley CS was banned in-game by EA. And we know that Riley was banned because this video said she was. So, I guess that's that.
No.
Case closed. Riley is a confirmed cheater. Thank you so much for watching.
I don't know if I've seen that video.
I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next. Well, you know what? I guess while we're here, maybe I should quickly double check that video just to make sure there is some evidence to support that claim.
I gotta say, boys and girls, in YouTube, in content creation, especially in the year 2025, if you're going to make claims that somebody's cheating or somebody did something, you need to have evidence. I think everybody can agree with that in the comment section. If you do, smack that like button. But you guys see in my videos, I either watch their gameplay or I look back at their previous streams or even look at their glasses to see the reflection to see if they're doing something weird within video games. And, you know, if you don't have any evidence, it kind of makes it look a little, you know, fishy.
Because it is a pretty big claim. I mean, I know that someone would never lie on the internet, so it's obviously going to be a huge waste of time, but these days one of my character flaws is that I tend not to believe what people say unless they prove it.
This is
I
gonna be
learned my
crazy to
lesson
see,
the
man.
hard way. Given the title of the video, I expect there to be something like a screenshot or a video showing that Riley's account was banned. And the evidence must be pretty good because other larger creators were spreading it as if it were gospel. So let's see what Call of Shame's evidence is.
Oh boy.
As you all know, the video caused a massive uproar because it clearly proved he was using cheats. When the beta ended, the clip spread.
I mean, I gotta say, that clip right there is sus, man. It's sus.
everywhere, and EA was absolutely aware of it. Normally, EA shares highlight clips from the community on their social channels, but they stayed silent on this one. Why? Because they know something was off. It would be a PR disaster if they outright banned him, and it would be worse if they defended the cheater like Call of Duty often stupidly do. It's a lose-lose scenario for them, and I understand that.
Wait, hold on a minute. Why would it be bad for Battlefield to ban a cheater in their game? Wouldn't that mean that their anti-cheat is working? Why would it be bad for them to show that somebody that was streaming, if they were using cheats, got banned? That doesn't make sense to me.
But getting back to the alleged ban, look at what happened when Riley tried to play the beta in the second week after the video went viral. Every time he got into a match, he was kicked out within seconds.
Did my game just fucking crash? My game just crashed. Nice. Guys, what is wrong with Battlefield 6?
He tried to boot it up again and was kicked for the second time.
Close my fucking game.
Wait, should we leave?
The cheater now tried to repair the game files as he desperately attempts to log into the account that has been
Wait,
soft
wasn't
banned.
EA having issues
ramp up the
through their
moderation.
launcher though? Wasn't EA having some issues through their game launcher though during the beta?
He made it into a match, and yet again, the account was flagged and the game crashed.
I was getting a shout out from two big YouTubers.
I'm still confused.
I
Wouldn't
guess.
they want to ban them though? I don't know why they would just keep kicking them out instead of just actually banning them.
Dude, the
It's-
door. My game.
He tries again, and for the 4th time in a row, his account was blocked from playing Battlefield 6.
Terrible news. My game crashed
It
again.
would literally be better, in my honest opinion, if Battlefield 6 showed on their website or on their Twitter profile of their anti-cheat actually banning someone live. I don't think it would be a PR disaster. Still very weird to me to say that.
This happened repeatedly, to the point where he had to log out and switch to an alternate account. On that account, he was able to play normally. The cheater was banned by Javelin Anti-Cheat, just not in a way that creates headlines.
Okay, so let me get this straight. EA thought Riley was cheating
What?
and wanted to ban her, but they were afraid to do it in a way that was obvious, so they rigged her account to crash shortly after getting into games, forcing her to switch to a different account. I have to admit, on its face, this sounds really, really, really stupid. Call of Shame is
And honestly, I gotta say this, man. Like, if it flagged that one account and they switched accounts, wouldn't it flag that other account if the Javelin anti-cheat was detecting it in the first place? So I gotta admit, man, that's just, it doesn't make sense. I can't get around that.
just making insane conspiratorial claims with no evidence at all. There was no evidence presented that she was banned, and Call of Shame has no idea what EA is thinking or doing. He doesn't have a statement from them, and they haven't said anything publicly. He is just making things up. And this is just a surface-level glance. We haven't even investigated whether or not these claims are true. And spoiler alert, aside from saying that Riley's game was crashing, everything else Call of Shame said was a complete lie. Riley wasn't banned, and she wasn't using a different account. These are Riley's stats for the first weekend of the beta, and the account name is TTV Riley CS. And these are the stats for the exact same account for the second beta. So clearly the account wasn't banned. But Call of Shame said she was using a different account, and his proof was that the in-game name had changed.
During the first week of the beta, he was rage hacking on the account TTV Riley CS. As a result, that account was not allowed to participate in the second week. He was forced to switch over to his alternate account, where he had no issues playing for the entire length of the beta.
Oh boy, well, we just saw that the account was used for the second week of the beta as well.
As soon as he changed accounts, the problem magically fixed itself. So yeah, it does appear that that TTV account seems to have been soft banned for sure.
Well, the name changed because Riley stopped launching the game through the EA launcher and switched to the Steam launcher. When you launch Battlefield 6 through the EA launcher, your in-game name will reflect your EA account name, which in this case was TTV Riley CS.
Okay.
However, if you launch the game through Steam, it will reflect your Steam name, which in this case is just Riley CS.
This is true because I launched it on Steam and it had my actual real name during the beta, and I was like, how the hell do I switch that? I'm like freaking out. That's not my Battlefield ID, so I had to go to Steam and change my name on Steam to make it the Rick. So he's 100% correct here.
2 seconds of research would give you this information. It was actually a pretty big problem. Many people were complaining that EA were giving them warnings because of their Steam name, and some people even had their EA account suspended because EA didn't like their Steam name. All that happened here
That's
is
so
that
weird.
Riley's game was crashing through the EA launcher, which was a common problem. So
That's what I
she
thought.
switched to the Steam launcher, and it worked. That is why the name changed.
At this point, just use Steam.
Oh my god, he's got all the receipts.
I'm in
Yeah,
borderless
Steam
window.
doesn't have the overlay issue, by the way.
That makes sense. Yeah, that might be the method then.
Yeah, I was curious if because of the overlay problem, if Steam just had like perma worse performance than the EA app version, and it's actually the opposite. It just never has that issue.
Yeah, the EA launcher
Okay, well,
sucks.
we're gonna get a game installing stream, part 2.
Just know that when you launch the game via Steam, it shows your Steam name.
That's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't let you back out sometimes.
Did you do any config files for your FPS? I did during the first beta, but then I had to reinstall my game today to go from EA to Steam because the EA one just kept crashing, and I haven't done the config since then.
And if you search for Riley's Steam name, the one that shows in the game, EA will say that account doesn't exist. All of the stats for the second weekend show under the EA account name TTV Riley CS.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, that point right there is very huge, very crucial in Carl's evidence, talking about the Riley CS account that Call of Shame claimed was his second account doesn't even exist. It's the same one. It's just the Steam name. So that does not look good for Call of Shame. I gotta say, man, like I said, I was a fan of Call of Shames, but right now it does not look good. We're 7 minutes in.
The exact same account that showed her stats for the first weekend. And you can see here in footage of Riley's EA account that the Steam name account matches the name that showed in-game. There are multiple levels of deception in Call of Shame's claim. He lied about Riley being banned. He lied about her using multiple accounts, and then based on those lies came up with an insane tinfoil hat conspiracy theory about EA being too scared to ban her.
Yeah,
and therefore they devised some bizarre plan of making her game crash at random times because they were afraid of making headlines. And people actually took this guy seriously. And by people, I don't just mean random morons on the internet. I mean huge reaction streamers like Tectone and Asmongold, who watched several of his videos. And Tectone and Asmongold are basically like baby birds with their mouths open, just eagerly gulping down whatever half-digested garbage Call of Shame decided to regurgitate up for them. They both question nothing and believe everything is fact without any hesitation. And their explicit acceptance of Call of Shame's videos then spreads to their audience, who blindly believe them also. In this case, the stakes couldn't be lower. We are just discussing whether or not some random person on the internet is cheating in a video game. However, I care less about the content and more about the implication that so many people are willing to believe whatever they are told without evidence. And then they will go even further and attack me and claim that I am a mindless defender because I don't do the same. I am less a defender of Riley as I am a defender of logic and not jumping to conclusions. I have never once said—
That is also a big problem I'm seeing nowadays, where a lot of people just jump to conclusions. They don't have like that mindset to where, okay, let's just see this, let's look at everything, let's get all the information and then we can make a decision. A lot of people just see something right away and they're like, boom, that person's cheating, or boom, that person's not cheating. They need to be able to take time to do their own research and just look at everything in total. It's a big problem we have nowadays, especially in content creation. So I do agree with Carl there. I did see a lot of people were roasting the shit out of him for saying that he didn't think Riley was cheating. I think I even said I disagree with him because I thought she was doing some sus shit, but or he, I don't know, they, whatever the fuck you want to call him. I really don't care about that, but yeah, we got to start having that mindset of, okay, let's look at everything first before we say these crazy ass allegations.
That Riley didn't cheat. And I even said that a reasonable person would look at her footage and assume it's cheated. It's just that I'm not personally convinced. But many people were angered by this. And in fact, things are getting a bit too insidious for my liking. Listen to this.
When Carl Jost put out a video attempting to defend Riley CS, I was honestly confused because he has some actually pretty amazing videos, and then I quickly realized why he did it. If you're going to make an impartial video, you should never let a blatant cheater dictate how you tell your story.
I made many points in my video, and Call of Shame addressed none of them.
To Riley,
Instead, he just asserted that I was defending Riley because I talked to her. Or rather, he asserts the mere fact that I allowed her to speak with me means that I'm biased and everything can be discarded. Let me be clear, this is an evil philosophy, but watch how it spreads. Tectone reacted to Call of Shame's video, and look at how he responded.
When Carl Jost put out a video attempting to defend Riley CS...
Oh, this guy went in on me. Yep, trying to farm some really big internet updates. Yep. Oh, he said Tectone bad in 2025.
I've never heard of him.
Plus 1,000 karma. Good Lord, man. The moment a video starts out with Asmon and Tectone bad, I'm like, I'm good. And you know what's crazy? He said both of those things in this video. Yep, why wouldn't he?
Now first, Tectone is a blatant liar. I never said he was bad. I made no personal attacks in the video whatsoever to a single person. In fact, I never even said his or Asmongold's name. All I did was show 2 clips of Tectone and disagreed with his logic toxic about whether or not you could tell if Riley could track someone through a rock. I made no comments directed at him or about him at all. So imagine that. All I do is disagree about whether or not you could tell if Riley was tracking someone through a rock, and in response, Tectone lies to his audience. He tells them that I said he and Asmongold were bad, and that I went in on him hard. He lies and does this to get his audience to hate me, simply because we disagreed on some point that, in the grand scheme of things, is meaningless.
I remember Carl's video talking about the entire Riley situation. He was very just in the middle of everything, giving his reasonings and understanding other people's reasonings and giving his evidence. He didn't really in any way, I mean, I was in the video, which was crazy to see. You know, shout out to Carl for putting me in the video, and he even, you know, kind of just proved me wrong, or gave his, not proved me wrong, but gave his own information. But he didn't seem like he was getting personal at all with anybody. So just want to make sure I make that clear, because I was also in the video.
Which makes it especially ironic when he leaves YouTube and blames other people for being toxic. But it gets even worse. Tectone agrees with Call of Shame that I shouldn't have let Riley speak with me.
Yep.
And then I quickly realized why he did it. If you're going to make an impartial video, you should never let a blatant cheater dictate how you tell your story.
Yep. Yep.
I do think it's weird to talk to somebody, but if you talk with them and they show like their actual VOD with you, I don't think that's a problem. I think if you're just talking to them and they're saying their point of view, it's not the end of the world. But again, if Riley showed actual like stream VOD and whatever with Carl, then it's no big deal, because that's actually, I feel like, informative, unless it's, you know, edited, but who knows? I think Carl, you know, just by the way this video is going right now with all of his evidence, I think he takes this pretty seriously.
This was shocking to me, given that Tectone has an American flag hanging on his wall.
Oh,
he
shit.
even wants
No
an
way.
American flag tattoo.
Getting more tattoos, so probably getting a collarbone tattoo and getting all this arm.
We're bringing up the
sleeved up.
American
Getting the
flag.
American flag pretty soon with a little bit more
Why?
than the American flag, but I'm very excited about that.
I believe it is immoral to not allow the accused person to defend themselves, and that's also why it's in the Constitution. Of course, this isn't a real trial, but this is the court of public opinion, and the philosophy should still apply. But Tectone seems to disagree. Tectone pretends to believe in American values, but when he wants to attack someone, giving them any rights is seen as a bad thing. And if his principles crumble to dust this quickly and easily over something as significant as this, just imagine what would happen over something more serious. Asmongold also just blindly agrees with Call of Shame and
Wow. Now that is gonna piss that guy off. I don't know who that dude is, but that is gonna piss him off. We'll see the reaction from that, man. Wow.
doesn't bat an eyelid when he claims that me talking to Riley made me unreliable.
I was honestly confused
I can
because he
understand why
has some
people think
actually
that,
pretty
though.
amazing videos.
He does.
And then I quickly realized why he did it. If you're going to make an impartial video, you should never let a blatant cheater dictate how you tell your story.
I would be happy to talk and share my side of everything. Oh, so he just talked to him. Well, I guess, oh, big surprise.
Now, I think if you sat down with Tectone or Asmongold and had a respectful conversation about due process and why it's important, they would actually agree that an accused person should be allowed to defend themselves. But clearly, they have allowed this situation to not only turn them into a pathetic liar, as is the case with Tectone, but to completely oppose something as inarguably necessary for a healthy society as communication and due process.
I'll be honest, man, I agree with Carl here, bro. If I'm accused of cheating, I would love to be able to give you guys my input on why I'm not cheating. And, you know, I think it's like that for everybody. If people had blatant, I mean, obviously those clips are very sus, right? It's very sus, but we've seen a lot of people with this mouse flicking community where they can do that, and they even done it on LAN, and that's what Carl showed in his video, which is why I was like, dude, Carl did a great job making that video. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll put both of them in the description below. But you got to be able to let people defend themselves. And again, like I said in my previous video, nobody knows if Riley's cheating except for themselves. That's it. Because we're not the ones looking at the computer. We're not the ones watching it. We're just seeing it on our stream from our phone or computer, whatever. And we're looking at clips through Twitter. That's all we can go off of. So if we don't let that person be able to, you know, defend themselves, especially since we don't have an actual screenshot of them saying they're permanently banned from Battlefield or their cheat menu pops up on their screen. We don't have any of that for Riley. So it's kind of like, okay, now we're just going off of opinion. And it's 50-50. It's divided. It's one of the biggest, like, divisions I've ever seen a community in regards to just a clip of a video game. It was wild.
As it stands, these people do not want a proper investigation. They already have their conclusion, and they are only interested in hearing evidence that conforms to their existing beliefs. The mere possibility of Riley providing any counter evidence to me is triggering to them. And in my opinion, just this one point alone, the fact that they don't want me talking to Riley at all, is enough to prove that they do not care about the truth whatsoever, and simply have an agenda. Now, with that out of the way, let's expose more of Call of Shame's lies.
This is why I try to stay in the middle of all this, because last thing I need is people from one side of the community just destroying me, ripping me apart, and then the other side ripping me apart if I go the other. Like, I just like to listen to everybody's information and then just go off of that. And I gotta tell you guys, so far we're 14 minutes in, he already showed that Riley was not banned. So it's already like, okay, that's pretty bad for Call of Shame. And then we're seeing how he's talking about this stuff. It's like, you gotta let the dude do what he wants and get all the information. You gotta applaud him, actually, for especially in this time in 2025, like I'm saying, you gotta give him props for actually wanting the entire story instead of just going off of a clip.
First, we need to address the elephant in the room. Call of Shame is an AI channel. We need to go no further than the fact that it's voiced by an AI.
Yeah, I'm not a
it's
fan
not
of AI,
even
man.
a real person. So it's pretty funny that anyone, let alone large content creators, would watch any of these videos and take them seriously. But I suppose my standards must be too high. Historically, Riley has been banned twice on Twitch. Once recently after her montage went super viral on Twitter, and once back in October of 2024. Let's listen to what Call of Shame has to say about Riley's ban last year.
Catgirl was actually banned for 7 days on Twitch back in 2024. Now back then, Twitch were extremely lenient for cheating. So if you got a 7-day ban for cheating, you were absolutely 100% cheating. There is no debate. This was a 7-day ban for cheating in a multiplayer game. And people are still defending him.
I thought you could get spam reported, though.
Morons.
Couldn't you get spam reported?
He asserts that if you're banned by Twitch, that you are 100% cheating. According to Call of Shame, there has never been an instance where someone was incorrectly banned. And I guess that's why Twitch doesn't even give streamers the chance to appeal their bans. Because if they are banned in the first place, there is a 100% chance they are cheating. Well, except for that little tiny detail that Twitch does actually allow streamers to appeal their bans, because mistakes do happen. And
well, this is what I'm saying, like, if they were 100% cheating, no doubt about it, you wouldn't be able to appeal. It's like the same with Call of Duty, where you get permanently banned and they say you're 100% cheating. You can't appeal that, you know, that situation. You can appeal a temporarily ban and they'll review it and either get you unbanned or keep you temp banned or possibly even permaban you. But yeah, if you were 100% cheating, I don't think they would allow you to appeal. That's just my honest, you know, common sense type of thinking.
Funnily enough, after Riley was banned in October of 2024, she appealed, and her appeal was accepted. Her original ban was on October 18th. After appealing, Riley received an email on October 22nd saying that the ban was due to a mistake, with Twitch saying, "A member of our team has reviewed your appeal and determined that your account was suspended or blocked due to a mistake on our part." But I don't get it. This can't be true. Call of Shame said Twitch never makes mistakes. Twitch is basically God.
Twitch is
Call
ass.
of Shame also lied and said that the appeal of this ban was denied, and Riley served the full suspension.
As everyone knows, back in 2024, he was banned on Twitch for 7 days for cheating.
This is not
He appealed the
looking
ban,
good.
but the appeal was denied.
Again, this is just a lie plucked out of thin air. It really needs to be stressed again that this is an AI slop channel producing a video every single day. It's impossible to do proper investigations and make videos this quickly at the same time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know this is a very controversial video for a lot of people, but I'm telling you right now, it is not looking good for Call of Shame, because he's already just proving the point that Call of Shame is not telling the truth here, because he just showed proof that he got unbanned on Twitch after like 4 days after the appeal was looked at, reviewed, and they said it was a mistake. So this is not looking good.
The only way slop channels can produce content so quickly is by doing no research, making things up, and hastily pasting together videos with enough padding as they can muster. And their audience is entirely made up of gullible people who don't understand how this slop machine works. In the case of the most recent ban, Call of Shame made a video titled "Leaked Twitch Document Confirms Catgirl Cheated," and he shows an email from Twitch saying the appeal was denied.
Newly obtained evidence indicates he was banned for cheating, served the full length of the ban, and had his appeal denied after a manual review of his gameplay and submission. They lied to you. All of them. They said he appealed, and that Twitch reviewed his gameplay and lifted the ban. But that's nonsense. His appeal was denied, both times. And in both cases, Riley had to serve the entire length of his ban for cheating in multiplayer games.
Notice how he claims that people said Riley appealed and Twitch reviewed the gameplay and lifted the ban, though doesn't produce a single piece of evidence to support this claim whatsoever, or any examples. And I couldn't find anyone saying this claim myself. But more importantly, look at this email. Notice anything strange. Riley's name is misspelled, and the formatting doesn't match a Twitch email at all. The formatting is completely scrambled, and there are no hyperlinks.
Yo, no way that he's gonna show that Call of Shame made a fake email. Is that even legal? What?
This email is completely fake. What's interesting though is that Riley did actually appeal this recent ban, and it was denied. Here is the real email from Twitch. And what's incredible is that the real email wasn't even leaked. The YouTuber Enders made a video on October 12th, where he shows the real email and says that the appeal was denied.
Riley got the Twitch channel that they stream on mass reported and falsely banned. When I emphasize falsely banned, because of this clip, right?
Now this is weird though, because falsely banned yet their appeal was rejected. So I would love to know if Twitch can give more input on that.
And here's the appeal. Here's the initial ban that Riley sent me. The appeal was denied, right? And Riley's Twitch account was, I think, suspended for 24 hours. As of recording this video, Riley is unbanned, so they will be back to streaming.
Then Call of Shame, 2.5 weeks later, on the 29th of August, makes a video titled Leaked Twitch Document, where, as echoed in the description of the video, he proclaims that he is revealing leaked screenshots proving that the appeal was denied, and also claiming that Riley defenders were lying and saying the opposite, and while doing so, showing a fake email. It's all incredibly bizarre to me. But again, this is what happens when AI is used so heavily to make a video. After getting called out for using a fabricated email, Call of Shame scrambled to find an excuse, and this is what he came up with.
In a recent video, I showed a document confirming that Riley CS was banned for cheating in multiplayer games. It also shows that he appealed, and the appeal was denied, meaning a manual review was conducted, and the reviewers were not satisfied with his gameplay.
This is insane.
This is huge, as it completely refutes the arguments of mass reports, as it was a manual review. To make the screenshot easier to read, I ran it through a digital enhancer. In the process, the tool removed the mouse pointer and accidentally clipped the final S in the username, so Riley CS appears as Riley C. That's the only change. The screenshot isn't fake or manipulated to mislead. The enhancer simply misread the pointer and trimmed a letter.
This is obviously bullshit. This email is not an enhanced version, as in AI was not used to upscale it or make it better quality. It's completely different. The formatting is changed.
Why would they take it and make the format look worse and take away the terms of service community guidelines? Dude, I'm telling you guys, like, I'm trying to just digest all this information just like you guys, but it literally makes no sense what Call of Shame is saying here. I'm sorry.
The name is different. There are no hyperlinks. It's not enhanced, it's manufactured. Then Call of Shame says that the email isn't fake and that it wasn't fabricated because Enders had shown a similar email previously.
For those who still doubt it, even Enders, the super simp, has shown the same documents confirming that Riley was banned for cheating in multiplayer games, ironically while trying to argue he wasn't. And no, I'm not joking.
Riley got the Twitch channel that they stream on mass reported and falsely banned. When I emphasize falsely banned, because of this clip, right? And here's the appeal. Here's the initial ban that Riley sent me. The appeal was denied, right? And
I will say this though, her getting denied, or him or them, whatever, getting denied after an appeal is very odd to me, and it's why I said they possibly could be cheating. But again, it's besides the point. The point here is, why in the fuck does the format look different? Does the name look different? It's so crazy.
Riley's Twitch account was, I think, suspended for 24 hours.
So there you have it.
Though it seems pretty obvious to me that Call of Shame didn't know that Enders had shown this email 2.5 weeks earlier. Otherwise, why would he title his video Leaked Twitch Document and claim that he was the one revealing it? And why would he post on his YouTube a picture of this screenshot a day before his video saying the plot thickens, as if this was some kind of new revelation? Well, the real reason is because just a day before Call of Shame's video, a post on Reddit got a lot of traction that showed a screenshot of the email taken from Ender's video, claiming that it was a leak. So naturally, the AI slop channel that doesn't do any actual research immediately made a video claiming there was a leak. And then, because AI is used so much by this channel, instead of just using the actual email itself, it made a brand new one, mistakes and all. There are many things to unpack from this, but the best case scenario is that the Call of Shame channel will fabricate and manipulate evidence instead of using the real thing. And because it's so low effort, they can't even be bothered to notice the name is misspelled and the formatting has been destroyed. Again, this is not AI enhancement, this is using AI to make a brand new email. And if the channel is willing to create an entirely new email and tamper with evidence, what other evidence is it manipulating and creating?
I'm telling you guys, like, is that even legal? This is why AI, in my honest opinion, should not be on YouTube. This is like the final nail in the coffin why YouTube needs to go all in on just getting rid of this, because it is doing some damage. If, like, it just doesn't make sense why, if you're going to enhance it, it's going to change the entire format, take away the colors of terms of service and community guidelines and stuff like that, take away, which you can obviously see a clear S, they're going to take it away. I don't buy that, man. So it's like, we need AI gone. I'm telling you, get it out, take it out of everything. I think it should be illegal everywhere. It's so dangerous. It's going to be very dangerous in the future.
Well, as it turns out, a ton. Call of Shame does this all the time. For example, when talking about external crosshairs, he calls them a cheat and says that the creator of the external crosshair that Riley uses says not to use it because it's cheating, and displays this quote on screen.
EA's website clearly states this is not allowed. Even the site that offers this overlay tells you do not use it in Battlefield titles. The anti-cheat will ban you for it. And why? Because it's cheating. So when anyone tells you it's not cheating, they are flat out lying.
However, if you go to the HUD site website and look at where this quote is pulled from, the context is completely different. The actual quote begins with, HUD site is not a cheat. It doesn't change game files or gameplay. So of course, knowing that it can't show you the real website, Call of Shame creates this fancy looking partial quote from scratch. He then proceeds to provide an apparent quote directly from EA.
Even Battlefield themselves state, do not use any third-party programs and external overlays, because they will get you banned. The amount of bots trying to justify this is hilarious. It comes down to a skill issue. If you're not good enough, just say so.
However, this quote doesn't seem to exist anywhere, or at least I couldn't find it, nor could I find any comment from EA regarding external overlays. This quote appears to be completely made up. Call of Shame also quickly flashes EA's terms of service, claiming that it clearly states crosshair overlays aren't allowed.
EA's website clearly states this is not allowed.
However, when you read them, there is no mention of overlays whatsoever. I guess you can try to argue that an external overlay is a modification of the game's interface. However, you could just as easily argue that it's not a modification of the game interface itself, but rather a modification to your physical hardware. In this case, the monitor. In practice, it would be the same as physically drawing a crosshair on your monitor or placing a physical object onto your screen. Something that speedrunners have been doing for decades.
I mean, that's just a personal opinion. I think at the end of the day, I don't think it's needed. I feel like if you have to download something to do that, it can be seen as a cheat. That's just all up for debate in the comment section below. But I'm telling you, man, this is so bad. This is like really fucking bad. Like, I'm telling you guys, I was a fan of Call of Shame, but seeing this actually proven that this is all being made up, AI generated bullshit is just, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow. I'm telling you, man, I'm like sitting here like, what the fuck? This guy's been around for how many years making videos, and now we're finally seeing it laid out like this. Like, how long has this been happening? How long has this been like going on? Is all of it fake? Is there some real and some fake? And they're like, I'm literally like, what the hell is going on, man? You can't literally sit here and watch this video and be like, nope, Carl's lying. You can't. He's showing it straight up. I don't know. Let's keep going. We got a long way to go, man.
But more importantly than anything, these rules are prefaced with 2 words. EA believes. Not what you believe, but what EA believes. And the only way to know what EA believes in regards to external crosshairs in Battlefield 6 is for EA to make a statement on them, which they have not yet done. Now, going back to Riley's most recent Twitch suspension, when Twitch suspends your channel, it tells you which VOD was the culprit. And in Riley's case, the stream she was banned over was titled "Poor Cam to Prove I'm Not Cheating." And those of you who are particularly astute will see why this is of note. The original clip montage that made everyone say Riley is cheating didn't have a hand cam. So Riley wasn't banned because of the montage that people are claiming was cheated. It was actually the stream after. And you might say that perhaps the latest stream with hand cam was also cheated, and that might be true. But there is an expert that disagrees. There is a very trusted figure who has conducted thorough investigations on Riley's play that says her gameplay with the hand cam is not cheating.
This cat girl person put out a new clip trying to prove he doesn't cheat. But let's be honest, this is just normal gameplay. All I see is someone standing still and spraying with a light machine gun. Everybody does that, it's nothing special. Where are the snaps? Where's the aimbot? It's a desperate attempt to convince people he's doing the same thing, but it's not even close. What he showed here is very, very different.
Hilariously, because Call of Shame doesn't do any actual investigation and therefore doesn't have access to important information, he will say things that are completely self-defeating and not even realize it. The reality is that Twitch didn't ban Riley for that famous montage or the—
I'll be honest with you guys, I am seeing some snaps.
Stream that produced it. No one really knows why Riley was banned either. In his video, Enders claimed that Riley was banned due to mass reporting.
Riley got the Twitch channel that they stream on mass reported and falsely banned. When I emphasize falsely banned.
However, when I asked Enders what his evidence for this was, he said he didn't have any and it was just an assumption. It should go without saying that you shouldn't make claims like this so confidently without proper proof, even if your logic seems to be sound. And just for transparency, Enders did give me permission to show his DMs.
I think you can get falsely banned and suspended for getting mass reported, but again, that's what the appeal situation is. It's very weird, like I said, that Riley had that appeal denied, so maybe they were cheating. I think it's beyond such situation, but again, Twitch would have to let everybody know, but I don't think Twitch is going to do that.
Now, it could be possible that Riley was banned due to mass reporting, and personally, I would be inclined to assume that was the case.
I agree.
But we really don't know.
Nobody
What we
does.
do know is that Twitch only has access to the same information everyone else does.
See, I'm seeing
Twitch
flicks
has only
here.
provided the visuals of Riley's gameplay. Riley doesn't play the game through Twitch like she does through her EA account. Twitch doesn't have secret knowledge about the software Riley is using, and if Twitch bans or doesn't ban someone, that isn't proof of anything. What we do know is that after Riley appealed, it was viewed by someone at Twitch who rejected it. But the appeal and the denial all happened within 24 hours of the ban. I'm not going to put any stock on a random Twitch employee who clearly hasn't done a thorough investigation. The stream in question was over 6 hours long. And remember, it was the hand cam stream done later on, not the stream from the montage that got all of the attention. So the montage had nothing to do with it. I struggle to believe anyone did an investigation of a 6-hour stream all within that 24-hour period. The notion is ridiculous. And it's hilarious for Call of Shame to assert that Twitch is some kind of authority on cheating. So just to recap on what we've covered so far, Call of Shame lied about Riley being banned by EA. He lied about Riley using multiple accounts. He lied about Riley's appeal being denied last year. And his use of AI is so egregious and lazy that it literally creates entirely new documents with obvious spelling mistakes that he fails to notice. These are the big lies that make him completely unreliable. But as we will soon see, he basically lies about everything.
Yo.
Here, Call of Shame shows the Steam group for Team EXE and says they all have game bans attached to their account.
They have a whole bunch of cheaters actively in this so-called org, if you can call it that. I mean, come on. They all have game bans assigned to their accounts. It's just laughable at this point. The same org that Enders and Riley are in are all cheating. I'm not making this up, people. You can check it yourself. It's insane.
Call of Shame says to check it out yourself, so I did. The group has a total of 93 members. You would think, given what Call of Shame said, that most of these accounts would have bans, if not all of them, as he literally said. But of those 93 members, only 5 of them have bans associated with their Steam accounts. 3 of them are for bans that were 6, 7, and 10 years ago, respectively.
I'm just saying, though, if they were banned back in the day, they shouldn't be a part of that org, in my honest opinion. If I was the head of that org, if they've been banned in the past, they shouldn't be a part of it. My opinion.
And the other 2 are 1 year and 2 years ago. So 5 out of 93 members have a ban of some kind, with 3 of those being over 6 years ago. And Call of Shame says all of the players have bans.
They have a whole bunch of cheaters actively in this so-called org, if you can call it that. I mean, come on. They all have game bans assigned to their accounts. It's just laughable at this point.
Again, this isn't a defense of Team EXE. It is only to show that Call of Shame says things that are false and uses extreme hyperbole to make points. And really, saying he uses extreme hyperbole is basically me being nice. It's essentially—
I will say, though, in Call of Shame's point, or for talking about those people that did get those bans, I agree. They shouldn't be a part of that org, in my opinion.
Actually just lying. Call of Shame's use of logic is astoundingly poor, which is evidenced by the way he talks about Shimmy. Shimmy was the Team EXE member that was kicked off the team for using an aimbot in Battlefield and Call of Duty. And then it was uncovered that he was also cheating in Kovacs as well. I made a whole video about this a few months ago, but listen to how Call of Shame describes this situation.
Team EXE, or XE, whatever you want to call them, I don't really care. They had to make a public statement and admit he was using soft aim. And because the situation was so public, they really had no other option.
Forgive my French, but this is truly fucking stupid. He says that Team EXE removed Shimmy because the situation was so public that they had no choice.
And because the situation was so public, they really had no other option.
That is an amazing claim. When Shimmy was banned, no one outside of a tiny community knew who he was. Shimmy's montages, the ones he cheated in, have a grand total of 6,000 views.
I didn't know this guy.
And that's months after I and other people heavily covered this story. Shimmy was an absolute nobody when he was kicked. Riley's montage that blew up, which is apparently obvious cheating as well, has almost 100 million impressions. So according to Call of Shame, Shimmy's cheating, with his montages that had just a few hundred views at the time, was so public that Team EXE had no choice but to kick him, but Riley's 100 million view montage that caused major public outcry was not. This makes no sense to anyone with an IQ higher than a loaf of bread. What really needs to be made clear is that it was the AIM community itself that exposed Shimmy, not people from outside it.
I'm gonna let you know, just from looking at that, that's clear blatant aimbot, just by the way it like perfectly goes with like people laying down and stuff. In my honest opinion, I can see that. But again, I have been wrong in the past, so I shouldn't be saying that in the first place. But Shimmy, yeah, get out of here, you cheater.
It is insanely disingenuous to say that the AIM community was fooled when it was the AIM community itself that exposed Shimmy and kicked him out within a month of him using an aimbot. I suppose this really was a no-win situation. Team EXE uncovering and kicking a cheater is used as proof that the team has cheaters in it and that they protect them. It's not used as evidence that they can identify and kick cheaters. The very thing that they did is used as evidence for the complete opposite. The AI slop truly shines in this segment talking about Shimmy.
Well, props to Team EXE for, you know, banning him, or not banning him, getting him, you know, kicked from there and having to tell everybody in the entire world that he was cheating. But again, I still stand by what I say. They have those cheaters that are on their team right now. They should not be on that team.
This is Shimmy's own gameplay recorded on Aim Trainer. Looks pretty solid, right? Well, now we know he was actually using an aimbot. So anyone claiming that great aim from Aim Trainer alone proves legitimacy can throw that argument out the window. I've just proven it false.
Notice the weird grammar, and it doesn't even know what Kovacs is called. It just calls it Aim Trainer. Personally, I never said that being good at aiming means you aren't cheating. I've seen other people say that, but anyone who has watched my channel would know I would never make that claim myself. World-class players cheat all the time. Being very skilled at a game doesn't make you immune to cheating. In my video, I talked about the AIM community and said they have better aim than professional esports players. This was not to defend Riley and say that she isn't cheating. It was simply to dispel this misconception that esports pros have the best aim, which is demonstrably false.
Yeah, in that video, if you guys didn't see it, he showed how somebody that was not a pro beat actual pros in aim training or whatever it was. He had more accurate aim than pros, so it was kind of crazy. If you guys haven't seen it, again, it's in the description.
This misconception was being used as evidence for cheating.
But I don't, when you have people that are perceptually very, very good players, but they're not entering competitions and they're not winning competitions, I generally assume that they're probably cheaters.
So while other people may have used this poor argument,
nowadays I can understand that argument, but again, you can't just label that as 100% they're cheating, in my opinion.
That because someone used an aim trainer they wouldn't cheat, I never would. I would only seek to combat misinformation and make sure that if people are going to claim someone is cheating, it should be for the right reasons. Call of Shame also puts Riley's and Shimmy's gameplay side by side and claims they are identical, which is provably false.
The gameplay is identical. The same snap behavior is there, but let's be clear, the snap itself is not the cheat. The soft aimbot is the mechanical auto-correction that takes over as the crosshair nears the target. The so-called pro players and Riley defenders from that strange little list they created just don't recognize what soft aim really looks like, so they gaslight the clips by overanalyzing and debunking the snaps.
I will say Riley's clips are still sus.
What matters is the underlying soft aim correction, and here, the gameplay is a dead match. It's exactly the same. This is a closed case. There's nothing more to be said.
Shimmy was banned precisely because his aimbot locked onto the same part of the enemy every single time. But if you actually spent any effort looking at Riley's clips, this is not the case at all. Call of Shame's inability to use logic manifests in funny ways, with the channel arguing with itself video to video. Originally, the channel claimed that Riley's snap to the rock was all that it needed to see to know that she was cheating.
So yeah, I think we can pretty much all agree that he is absolutely cheating. I mean, there's no debate. Let's just call it what it is. The moment he moved towards the guy behind the rock was pretty much enough for me to stop watching this clown. He's done.
And it claimed that Riley's snapping to enemies was an obvious aimbot.
Check this out. This is a snap, no debate. I can't say for sure yet if this is an aimbot or some other third-party software until I finish my data models and start examining this with TrueSight. I mean, what are we even talking about here?
But then for some reason it changed its tune and said that the snapping wasn't evidence for cheating at all.
The aimbot didn't get a lock. Let me explain why this happened. The aimbot only works if the enemy is inside its field of view. Now, because the enemy was outside the FOV, it didn't lock on, even though he is firing his weapon. The snapping isn't the—
Yo, I'm telling you, man, my head is like going like this. There's so much going on in this video, and I would love to know what you guys think, but it's just like, God, dude, this is like just not looking good.
Cheat. The aimbot only takes over once the weapon fires.
It originally claimed that this clip was not cheating and was inserted into the montage to fool people.
When you slow it down, you can see that this person is actually snapping past the targets and correcting their own bad aim. They're snapping to nothing. And no, that's not cheating. Cheaters often include clips like this in their montages so that absolute morons can try to break it down and say, see, he's not cheating.
Then later,
people have done that in the past, though. People have done that, so it's kind of like, you know, you can't really say it's not what they did, but people have done that in the past.
Cheating.
Now that you've seen what soft aim looks like, let's compare Riley CS side by side with Shimmy. But I'm going to use the actual gameplay that got him banned. The gameplay is identical. The same snap behavior is there, but let's be clear, the snap itself is not the cheat. The soft aimbot is the mechanical auto-correction that takes over as the crosshair nears the target. Look, it's clear this is cheating. I've not only proven it, I've provided the receipts. The defenders are losing, and they know it.
Remember, Call of Shame doesn't do any research or any investigations. The AI makes a video every single day. Of course, it must be prompted by a human, but that human isn't doing any real work. And whoever is prompting the AI clearly doesn't care about logical consistency or accuracy. Call of Shame can't even go 30 seconds without saying something stupidly conflicting. Listen to this amazing segment.
I'm also hearing now that he was banned in Titanfall some years ago for using aimbot. Look, multiple channels have presented concrete proof that he is. So the question is, are you going to side with hearsay or the facts staring you right in the face? I'm also hearing now that he was banned in Titanfall some years ago for using aimbot. Are you going to side with hearsay or the facts?
Oh no! Oh my God. Oh.
Staring you right in the face.
This is truly beautiful. You know what's really funny?
Like
back when I made my original Riley video, I said this. The channel Call of Shame, who seems to be very knowledgeable on aimbots, and to be honest, a lot more knowledgeable than most people I see talking on this matter, claims that the snap to the rock was not cheating at all. And many people took this seriously. And I must admit, this is my deadpan Australian sarcasm failing to land once again. This was a joke. Call of Shame isn't a real person, it's mostly AI. And he is not knowledgeable on anything. But Carl, you might say. He has a white paper. He has a PhD thesis. I mean, this sounds really impressive. Just look at how Asmongold reacts to this incredible proof of expertise.
I've written an entire PhD level white paper on computer vision based cheats and the...
Oh.
What the hell was that reaction? Oh my God.
Oh no. Oh, Jesus. Here we go, guys.
Urgent need for anti-cheats to step up against AI-driven exploits.
Wow.
In it, I go in depth on soft aim technology and the broader dangers that modern AI
Bro,
poses.
this guy's actually like. So you've got a PhD versus versus some retard? Oh no.
Except when you actually read the paper, it's just more AI trash. Let's forget about the fact that when you put the paper into an AI text detector, it says almost the entire thing is AI generated.
Wow.
The content itself is just self-serving garbage that is just a marketing ploy for this alleged True Guardian site anti-cheat. Software that you can't download or test for yourself. But just trust me, bro, it's a real thing that really works. This PhD thesis
I've
has
never really understood what the True site actually does. People have told me it's overlay. People have told me it's like 100%. It tells you if the person's cheating or not without any like, you know, problems with it. I still have, I need to like look at Call of Shame's video, explain it a little bit more so I can understand it. But yeah, let's see.
amazing references, like a Reddit post and YouTube videos. And wow, it even references the exact same website twice, which means that this source must be especially important.
Whoa, 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 AI error.
So what exactly is anybrain.gg? Oh, it's a sales page for another AI anti-cheat software, the exact same type of software that Call of Shame has proclaimed to have developed. Well, if this doesn't scream legit to you, honestly, nothing will. This is as airtight and trustworthy as you can possibly get. It even shows a graph that proves it outperforms all of the other anti-cheat software with no paper or study to substantiate this claim whatsoever. Nor do the references the paper provides point to the data shown in the graph. And the title of the graph is misspelled. In fact, none
What are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is awful. It doesn't even say anti-cheat system, it says anti. Guys, I'm telling you. What the fuck?
the graph.
Carl went, I mean, an hour and a half video. It is worth every second sitting here because he is just tearing Call of Shame apart. I'm sorry.
And the title of the graph is misspelled. In fact, none of the claims in this paper are sourced at all. There is zero sourcing or any citations in this entire paper. Just a bunch of assertions with a list of random references at the end. But
yeah, if you guys don't remember school, I've been out of school for quite some time, but when I was in high school, even in college, when you typed up a paper, if you made a claim, you had to have in parentheses where you got it from, whether it was the last name of the author and the page number and the exact sentence or the website you got it from. You needed everything in a parenthesis after you made a claim to prove your type of argument you were trying to make. Otherwise, it was going to make you fail that paper because although you can get in big trouble, especially in college, if you're putting all this out there without sourcing or giving credit to where you found that. And if you don't give credit or if you don't even put a source, it's gonna fail because you need to have where that information came from. Otherwise, it's just like Call of Shame said, hearsay or bullshit.
None of the claims are cited. It's impossible to tell where they came from.
Exactly.
But surely it has to be legit. I mean, when he talks about his white paper in his videos, listen to the music.
In fact, I've written a full white paper on computer vision cheats, the dangers they pose and how anti-cheat systems can effectively stop them. It's available on my website, and I've also submitted it as part of my PhD research for peer review.
With music like that, how could you doubt anything this channel says? And to look at these diagrams, you can see that human aim is wavy and cheats is a straight line. If that isn't proof of something, then I don't know what is.
I wish I knew what that graph meant to the left. I wish I knew. What the hell does that mean?
Over the past 6 months, I've been investigating, researching, and reverse engineering external cheat devices to determine the most effective ways to combat them in first-person shooters.
Yeah?
The result is a groundbreaking anti-cheat.
Look at all the sources and everything. Oh my god.
Oh my god, the sources, they are incredible. Maybe if I'm lucky, my YouTube video can appear as a source in a PhD
And I want to make sure I make this very clear. If you guys, again, have gone through high school, you cannot use sources from YouTube, from Wikipedia, from Reddit. It's not a reliable source. In English class, I don't think it would be a reliable source for a anti-cheat PhD paper. Okay. Middle school, you learn this shit. High school, you learn this shit. If you didn't learn it in middle school, you can't use certain websites for sources because it's not reliable. A YouTube video is not reliable. Reddit is not reliable. Anybrain.gg and anti-cheat for AI. I don't think even AI websites or AI sources is reliable nowadays.
As well. According to a consensus of multiple advanced AIs, this white paper is around 70 to 90% AI generated. And there are quite a few things in here that are obviously just completely fabricated. For example, it shows a table of estimated minimum monthly revenue for various websites. There is no citation or sources listed, of course, but even checking through the references given at the bottom of the document, none of them give any information about the revenue of any of these sites. And the telltale sign of AI making this table up is the fact that it gives values to the cent. Apparently, the estimated monthly revenue of Battlelog is $99,152.79. Humans don't do this.
He is 100% right. When you're doing a estimated min monthly revenue, min means minimum, nobody puts it to the cent. They would say if it's 99,000, they would put minimum probably at 99K, and that's that. They wouldn't go to the cent. Oh my God, he's got an amazing point right there.
Estimates are usually in a range or rounded to the nearest thousand, not given in exact cents. And according
Absolutely
to AI,
not.
the pseudocode in this paper is tutorial level and inconsistent with the sophistication claimed. The issue of this white paper being AI generated has already been brought up before in a video by Boren.
My guess is he fed a lot of this to the AI to help him spit out this paper. And while unreliable, I ran large sections of this text through AI text detectors online, and basically all of them said that large portions of the text are 100% AI generated.
And Call of Shame has even responded to this very point.
Wow.
So this guy thinks AI wrote my white paper, created all my images, and guessed at the algorithms I use in my script, right? That's what he's claiming, that my paper is AI generated. Well, I just turned to scripture, because the Lord has used it to stop evil, and it was written over 2,000 years ago. I randomly chose the book of Leviticus to see if that was AI generated, and all it took was a single book of the Bible to shut this clown down. Amen. Moving on.
Apparently, if you put the Book of Leviticus into an AI detector, it says it's AI generated, which I have to say is pretty incredible. Naturally, me being the stickler I am for double checking things myself, I tried to replicate this, and I put the Book of Leviticus into an AI detector, and my results came back as 0%. So I'm really confused as to what happened.
So am I.
Actually, come to think about it, Call of Shame showed the text on his screen so briefly, I didn't really even get a chance to see what he put in there. Oh, this isn't the Book of Leviticus at all. It's a summary. Call of Shame posted an AI summary of the Book of Leviticus into an AI text detector and said that it was the actual Book of Leviticus.
What? What are you doing? Oh my God.
Now I am really intrigued.
I didn't even
catch that.
catch
Does Call of Shame
that.
not know what the Book of Leviticus is, or did he intentionally paste an AI summary into the detector and to lie about what it was?
Look at it. It says chapters 1 through 7, and it gives a summary. Chapter 1 is like one sentence. Chapter 2, I don't know if you guys have ever looked at it. It's like, it's not one sentence for a full chapter. Okay, so he literally put a summary, possibly an AI summary, into this AI text detector and claimed he was putting the actual story. He literally got exposed right there. We're like, we're 47 minutes in. We're already very like, what the hell is going on here? But like, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse. He literally put a summary and claimed that that is being called AI, but then Carl puts the actual, like you saw, each freaking sentence copy and pasted from the book, and it wasn't AI generated. Like, if that's not manipulation, I don't know what is.
Even though we can just pause the video and read it for ourselves. There is a very good case to be made that Call of Shame isn't even a native English speaker. On his now deleted Twitter account, it's quite obvious that his grammar is not from someone born in the West. And his old website, callofshame.net, is even worse. Look at some of these sentences from the terms of service. The donations is a generous effort on your part to give freely to a cause, thus being Call of Shame. We will place your name on our website, and your comment should this be approved by our team, but in no way part of the donation agreement.
I just got a headache reading that shit with no punctuation.
And this work of art of a paragraph somehow managed to find its way onto Call of Shame's anti-cheat website. Guardian will soon be providing complete protection for tournament organizers, helping them to make an informed discretion whether or not to issue the payout. It's pretty obvious Call of Shame is not an English speaker, which is almost certainly why he doesn't use his own voice in videos. If you go and check pinned comments on Call of Shame's oldest videos, the English is atrocious. As we are fair, we always give the player a chance have their say. We welcome a responsive video. Should we find the claims credible, we will make a note.
So does his typing in the paper look like this at all, or is it like perfect like English?
Here. The response video will be shared regardless to give a complete fair balance. Wait a minute. Here, Call of Shame claims he is always fair and gives players a chance to have their say, but he has been giving me shit for talking to Riley. What a hypocrite. And with all of this knowledge in mind, there really is a non-zero chance that Call of Shame didn't know that this wasn't the actual book of Leviticus.
This right here, like showing that it's actually a summary, like there's no doubt about it, that's a fucking summary. It's not the actual, you know, reading. That right there just makes you think, what the hell has he done in the past when in regards to his evidence? Manipulation. This is fucking manipulation, bro. Like I told you, everybody watching this video, I was a fan of Call of Shame, but watching this and seeing it be picked apart, and it's not just one video, it's multiple videos throughout. It's like, where do we go from here, man? Where do we go from here? This guy has been years of being at the top of exposing cheaters. That's why I liked watching his content, because I thought I was watching somebody that was exposing people. Yet here he is getting exposed for lies. You just feel like you're backstabbed, man. And he shouted me out in one of his videos, and I really appreciate it. I was like, dude, I was like literally like a fucking fanboy. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Always was a fan of his. And now seeing this, I'm like, what?
And I love the fact that the author of Call of Shame's paper is just Guardian Labs. It's not even a person, and no one is credited or listed anywhere. But again, just have the faith that this is a real person, guys. Don't let the AI voice, the AI generated text, and AI generated labels, graphs, and diagrams fool you. Seriously, the fact that someone as big as Asmongold can watch AI generated videos and believe them immediately without question is insane. And I'm going to preemptively say that I'm not personally attacking Asmongold. And previously I would have never felt the need to say this. I'm only saying this now because Tectone was such a giant bitch that he took my disagreement over The Rock as a personal insult. And
oh my God, the emphasis on bitch is hilarious.
And on Reddit, people were claiming that I was trying to make Asmongold look stupid. I am not trying to say that Asmongold or Tectone are bad or stupid because they believe this AI slop.
They're not the only ones. Again, man, I can say it myself. I was a huge fan of Call of Shame. I was watching these videos, believing it every second, and now seeing this, it's like, damn, dude, I mean, I guess I can call myself not really stupid, but I was manipulated. I was manipulated. I really was.
But the fact that they did is pretty alarming. I don't have a personal agenda against these people, but they happen to be the biggest people spreading misinformation on this subject. So I have to mention them, I have to show their clips, and I have to explain why they are wrong. Don't take it personally. I find it unbelievable that we can't have a disagreement on whether or not someone is cheating without someone like Tectone equating that to me calling him a bad person. That is ridiculous. In the past, Asmongold has been very receptive and appreciative when I've changed his mind on something.
Let me link you guys the video. Like, I'm gonna be honest, Carl did the research that, I'll be real, I should have done. I should have known what he knew. I should have looked into it more. I didn't. He did.
I agree, man. Carl's doing an amazing job in this video with the research, and I feel like it's something that we have not done enough of, and including myself. It's like he's literally talking to everybody that watches Call of Shame's videos now.
His video alike. He was right. Yeah, people are right. Yeah, I did not know. And like, he knows way more about this than I do.
If anything, this is more a demonstration of the pitfalls of reaction content. Treating everything you watch as truth without any skepticism can be incredibly dangerous. And
See,
again,
like that true
we're
site stuff,
talking
I don't know
about
what that
something
is.
as meaningless as someone cheating in a video game. But the reason I find this so concerning is because I know this isn't just isolated to this one topic. This complete lack of skepticism appears everywhere. Now, legends, on a completely unrelated note, I have just published a PhD-level, peer-reviewed white paper on my own AI-driven visual detection anti-cheat software called TrueCalSight. TrueCalSight is a biomechanically anchored visual AI platform that verifies whether on-screen behavior is within human neuromuscular limits. By modeling reaction latency, angular velocity, fatigue effects, and microcorrection variants, TrueCalSight identifies external HDMI plus AI
Is this all
cheats,
AI
spoofed
generated?
HID inputs, and subtle assistive aimbots that evade process-based systems. Now, you might think that TrueCalSight and TrueGuardianSight are similar, but there are subtle differences. As we can see here, TrueGuardianSight is a hybrid telemetry partial visual AI that boasts 92.3% accuracy, 2.5% false positives, and 85 millisecond latency, while TrueCalSight is a biomechanically anchored visual AI that has demonstrated an incredible 98.9% accuracy, 0.9% false positive rate, and an astonishingly low 78 millisecond latency. And you can see in this graph that TrueCalSight has a taller bar than TrueGuardianSight, which makes it superior. TrueCalSight has already been field tested.
Look at
with
this
impeccable
AI-generated
results.
slop,
After
man.
being implemented at the 2024 Global FPS Championship, a referee described TrueCalSight as the first system where I could look at the data and feel certain it wasn't just telling me a process looked suspicious. It was showing me this flick is impossible for a human hand to make 50 times in a row. That's what makes it so powerful. The release of TrueCalSight represents more than a technological advance. It marks a decisive turning point in the history of competitive integrity within digital ecosystems. For nearly 3 decades, anti-cheat enforcement has been locked into an exhaustive cycle of escalation.
This is why AI needs to be taken out of the internet, taken out of schools, taken out of everything. I know it has a lot of good, you know, positives with it, but man, the negatives, like he's literally showcased it. If you can't tell, he's joking. He's like literally pretending to be Call of Shame right now. He just showed how easy it is to make a PhD level paper of his new TrueCalSight. Like, if we don't understand that this is a problem, I don't know what else to tell you guys. Like, this is an actual problem. And he shows how easy it is to do it. You just have to either download an AI generated thing that you can easily just, you know, type in what you want created, or do it through ChatGPT. I don't know. I don't do this AI shit, but damn.
Publishers deploy deeper process scans, cheat developers respond with more obfuscation, and players are left as collateral damage, either subject to unfair losses or caught in false positives that erode trust. What distinguishes TrueCalSight is not just accuracy, but philosophy, a deliberate shift away from invasive kernel monitoring and toward outcome-based biomechanical plausibility analysis. By anchoring detection in the fundamental limits of human neuromuscular performance, TrueCalSight delivers verdicts that are transparent, defensible, and beyond the reach of even the most sophisticated hardware-assisted cheats. TrueCalSight guarantees that skill belongs to humans and fairness belongs to all. It is not just an incremental patch, but the foundation of a new era in which publishers, players, and regulators align around a shared principle. Digital competition must be as authentic as its physical counterpart. The arms race is over. Not just because cheats have disappeared, but because their outputs can no longer masquerade as human. With TrueCalSight, integrity is no longer an aspiration. It is an enforceable standard. As I mentioned before, my white paper is even peer-reviewed. I recently showed a peer of mine, and they said, "What the fuck is this?" Look, when it comes to cheating, there is no higher authority. I've been a multiple-time world champion. I've set hundreds of world records, and I haven't just been researching and covering cheaters for years. I've been setting the standard in cheat detection. Nothing could be clearer. True Carlsite is the future, and you can download my full PhD level peer-reviewed white paper at truecarlsite.carljobs.gg. By the way, I just want to say that Call of Shame has had an incredible career. Let's go through all of his achievements. First, he has been a world-class professional Call of Duty player who was on the best team in the entire world.
Let me be clear. I've won countless ladders in old school Call of Duty competing on game battles, earning thousands of dollars competing back on the Xbox 360. I played for the best team in the world. I've been there, I've done it, and I know exactly what cheating looks like.
And he proves this by showing a Game Battles profile page with a few trophies.
There ain't no school like the old school, and I am the headmaster.
Honestly, and I genuinely mean this is incredible. Although I do find it a bit worrying that Call of Shame admits that he can't count to 5.
Let me be clear. I've won countless ladders in old school Call of Duty competing on game battles.
Though to be fair, 5 trophies is a very large number.
Carl is just letting him have it, man. Oh my god, he does not give a fuck anymore.
I can't imagine anyone else competing with that kind of success. Well, except for basically any decent player who played on game battles, like Jay Cement, who has literally hundreds, or the OG Stoner, who has over 600.
Holy
or what
shit.
about Reflex Zach, who had 1,000 first place trophies, not to mention the second and third place trophies, of which Call of Shame had 0. And what about Huskers, who had not only 127 gold trophies on game battles, but also had a very successful professional esports career with total winnings of almost $1 million.
Damn.
What about him? I mean, if Call of Shame's opinion is so valuable because of his 5 trophies, shouldn't Husker's opinion mean something? And on Twitter, Husker said that Riley's play was just basic aim flicking and nothing special. Well, according to Call of Shame, Huskers has no idea what he is talking about.
They list Huskers, for example, the same person I exposed just last week for cheating in Battlefield. This is someone with a history of cheating allegations, corruption claims, and being caught exploiting in multiple games. That is not a credible source. On top of that, they can't even get their facts straight.
Not a credible source. Not a credible source, huh?
He left Luminosity last year, and he has never won the World Series of Warzone. That claim is a flat-out lie. He's never won a single professional tournament on LAN. Calling himself a World Series of Warzone champion is laughable. The titles he's talking about were North America only online events, played from the comfort of his bedroom.
So let me get this straight. Call of Shame was the best player in the world, playing on the best team in the world, because he had 5 gold trophies on GameBattles.com, and that's why you should believe what he says. But Huskers, with his 127 gold trophies and $1 million of prize money over a lengthy professional career, isn't a credible source.
I played for the best team in the world. I've been there, I've done it, and I know exactly what cheating looks like.
That definitely makes perfect sense. Though I suppose an even more pressing question is if Call of Shame's Game Battles profile is even his. He never actually shows the name of the account.
Yeah, and if you look at it, like we saw with Huskers, next to the first, second, and third place, you would have numbers. There's no numbers there. And why would you blur this out? Why would you? And why would you, after getting 5 first place since 2010, and all these I think were in 2011 and 2010, why would you stop playing?
Could literally belong to anybody. Showing a random account and claiming it's yours is not proof of anything.
That's
and anyone
very
who
weird to me. That is very weird. That's like me going out there and showing that I have a trophy, but not an actual picture of me at the event holding the trophy, or even the trophy here. It's just a picture of the trophy and saying it's mine, or taking a picture of somebody's car and saying it's mine, like a Lamborghini in the parking lot. Yeah, this is my car, but like not showing proof of me getting in the car and driving it, or even having the keys to the Lamborghini. I don't know. It's just, that's so odd to me.
does think this is proof of anything is gullible beyond repair.
It's
but
very
even the
weird, man.
screenshots he does show aren't even real screenshots and have been heavily manipulated. For example, here's the page of Ricker.
Yeah, see?
And
It's
this
got a
will
bunch of
apply
shit
to
here.
every single page, by the way, but this is just one example. Notice how on the top right it shows his number of gold, silver,
Rick!
and bronze trophies,
Rick!
among other details.
Come on!
Hall of Shame shows his profile page. In this case, it was from a video in 2023. These numbers are completely absent. The trophy icons are there, but the numbers are invisible. Isn't that
And they're not even blurred out, kind of like the name was. They're not even blurred out, and there's no other text up here showing the ID of everything. From 2023. This is from 2 years ago. So he's been manipulating shit from 2 years ago, too. Holy shit, man. We've all been fucked up.
odd? Even pages with 0 trophies still show zeros there. This is fascinating, and for some strange reason, the profile pictures of the 2019 Call of Duty World League presented by PS4, even though Call of Shame was an Xbox 360 player.
Earning thousands of dollars competing back on the Xbox 360.
Things get even more bizarre though, because in a
Bro,
video
what do you
from
mean
December
more
20
bizarre? We're fucking 59 minutes in and it's still going.
2022, Call of Shame also shows his trophy page, and while it is very brief, it does show numbers next to the trophies on the top right. But this time he has edited his profile picture. But if he had this version in 2022, why on earth is the version he showed in 2023 showing a different profile picture with the trophy numbers now completely missing? This is honestly blowing my mind. And by the way, this might be nothing, but notice how he's not signed into his account. This is what your profile page looks like when you're signed in. Game Battles closed down in 2024, so it's pretty interesting that Call of Shame screenshotted his own account as an anonymous viewer without actually signing in. But even that makes no sense, because he also shows apparent Game Battles emails he received, so he must have been signed in to show those. Nothing going on here follows any logic whatsoever. It's almost as if these screenshots reek of AI, similar to how AI completely destroyed the totally real email that Twitch sent to Riley. But there is also a bit more to this page that you wouldn't pick up on unless you digged a little deeper. In this original screenshot from 2023, notice the order of the first place trophies. They are listed from most recent to oldest. And if you check every single profile page that you can find on the Wayback Machine, this is always the case. When it comes to first place, second place, third place trophies, they are always listed from most recent to oldest. And in Call of Shame's case, even though he had a habit of changing subtle details like editing the profile picture in this version and blurring the member date and leaving the profile views, which funnily enough was the opposite of the original version, at least the trophy order made sense. But look at the trophies in his recent video trying to prove that the page was really his.
As for being on the best team in the world, yes, I was. Nobody could touch us. We won everything during those seasons.
Now the order of the trophies has been reversed.
Dude, I am like, what is going on, man? Literally, as somebody that was a Call of Shame fanboy, I feel so, like, lost right now, man. This is crazy! The amount of research Carl put in just to show this is, like, changing the entire, like, state of this AI generated slop on YouTube, man. And I don't think Call of Shame's posted a video in like 2 weeks. I haven't seen it on my feed at all. So like, is he gonna respond to this? I mean, we'll have to see, but like there's no, you can't come back. You can't come back from this. You literally can't come back because you've been exposed throughout this entire video.
It's now showing from oldest to newest. This is not legitimate. This isn't how trophies appeared on any profile. And it's impossible for this screenshot to be new either, as Game Battle shut down in January 2024. So just think about this for a second. Call of Shame already had numerous pictures of his account that he had been showing on his channel for years. But instead of showing them, he created a brand new one with an incorrect trophy order. At this point, I don't even care if this page is his or not. Not only are the achievements on this profile pathetic, with only 5 trophies total, compared to the hundreds and thousands of
I have 0 trophies, so I can't talk shit.
Decent players, but this page has been manipulated multiple times. Once again, these aren't screenshots. These are AI-generated images. And even if they aren't generated by AI, they are generated nonetheless. These aren't real, no matter which way you want to spin it. And there is no reason to fabricate and manufacture evidence unless you're a liar. But anyway, let's move on. He also spent decades on the forefront of cybersecurity and anti-cheat technology, working for Symantec.
When it comes to cheating, I am a credible authority. I've spent decades on the front lines of cybersecurity and anti-cheat technology. I worked on Symantec's double firewall, where my mission was clear: identify threats and stop them. I pulled apart Trojans and worms like Sub7, NetBus, and Back Orifice.
And he worked on the MSN Gaming Zone.
I worked on the MSN Gaming Zone, where I monitored cheating across a variety of titles.
And he even built his own gaming platform, directly competing with GameSpy.
I even went as far as building my own gaming platform, yes, my own platform, directly competing with GameSpy and others at the time.
And he also worked with Microsoft.
Later, I collaborated with Microsoft to track down cheaters in Age of Empires, which, by the way, I still play to this day.
And he even built his own anti-cheat software.
I've even written my own anti-cheat. And no, I didn't need kernel-level access. I used AI-driven bots to infiltrate cheat sites, analyze loaders, extract cheat signatures, and break them down into raw data. And then, just to make things harder for cheat developers, I converted those signatures into what I called angelic script. It was an innovative approach, and it worked. I developed Ricochet Trust Score, software that leverages user mode anti-cheat techniques to validate a player's PC integrity before the game even boots, using Secure Boot and TPM long before they became industry standards.
And he published a peer-reviewed PhD-level paper.
And even published a peer-reviewed PhD-level white paper on computer vision-based cheat detection.
This guy's resume has got to be like 50 pages long. Good God!
Wait a minute. Published, peer-reviewed, PhD. I don't think Call of Shame knows what those words mean. In any case, Call of Shame has amassed almost as many achievements as Tommy Tallarico. I'm sure his mother is very proud. And Call of Shame is extremely connected. He even works with the FBI.
I recently have been working with a very good friend of mine who works for the Bureau. I met her some time ago while visiting the ARC encounter in Kentucky. I wanted to provide a timeline of events to present the best arguments I can about the cheating in Call of Duty Warzone. I headed for coffee to meet and discuss the best approach to build a case against some Warzone streamers to then present it to the community to make the ultimate decision. We disagreed on how the evidence should be presented. However, the FBI was correct, and after some fresh coffee, we put aside our differences, and I agreed.
Is this
she
all
was
AI
absolutely
generated?
on point.
Is that all AI generated video?
Honestly, it might be faster for Call of Shame just to tell us what he has not done. Call of Shame has done it all. He was the best gamer ever on the best team in the world. He worked with the biggest companies ever. He built his own gaming platform. He built the best anti-cheat software ever. He created the greatest PhD thesis ever. That was definitely not AI generated. He has decades of experience on the front lines of threat detection.
I was there during the IRC wars, when groups clashed for dominance. I watched the birth of botnets, the rise of reverse connections, and the inevitable collapses that followed. I lived it. They didn't.
He has seen it all, but with all of this real-world experience, he won't tell you his name or let you hear his voice, and spends his time anonymously creating AI slot videos on YouTube. Yes, this definitely checks out. Recently, a few people have been looking into Call of Shame's channel, his anti-cheat software, and his white paper, with several videos being released from a few smaller creators who realized that Call of Shame is a total fraud. Struth Gaming did a recent video going over Call of Shame's white paper in detail, highlighting that it's a bunch of nonsensical, baseless claims with nothing to back them up whatsoever.
and get a load of this sentence. This white paper elucidates the theoretical foundations, architectural details, mathematical derivations, blah blah blah. And then we have him typing like this in YouTube comments. Thank you, no space. So much, mate. You're wrong, you're too kind. I appreciate random capital letter. It's so much. So kind of you, Jared. Yep, you're
Dude, I mean, like, it's over. It's over. It is actually fucking over. Like, there's no debate, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry if this makes you hate me for showing you this video or for just me reacting to it. But, like, I feel so stupid. I never looked this deep into it, but seeing in this video just show all of this is just like, how many years has this guy been doing this? And we just never were able to just fully admit that this was actually going on. Like, all of these words down here in this paper, yet this is how it's typing.
wrong, you're right though. Missing the UGH. Dead on. It's indisputable. But simps will simp with ought. With dash ought, questioning anything like, how do you mess that one up so badly? There's no blaming autocorrect for that. Same guy, by the way. The layers upon layers of disingenuity and deception are simply remarkable. He had to type in the values to create this graph. There is no mistake. He repeatedly chose to misrepresent the data and even present data that doesn't exist to make his own anti-cheat look better. And once again, he refers to biomechanics, and this time biomechanics studies. Surely there's a reference for that one. Nope, none of these are a biomechanics study. But while we're here, let's look at this hilarious excuse for a reference list. New AI classifier for indicating AI written text. Why on earth is that referenced? What a massive self-report. An AI-generated paper on a computer vision AI anti-cheat referencing something about AI written text that was never mentioned anywhere in the paper. There is no way Call of Shame put that there himself, right? Like, it's
what
so
the
stupid.
Fuck?
And time for opinion.
How was this not exposed earlier? What are we doing?
Opinions highlighted some really funny things in Call of Shame's past, like that one time he pretended to have a girl on his channel named Supergirl by using an AI voice of a young boy.
I am known as Supergirl, and my mission is simple: to remove the streamers so the other players can enjoy a cheat-free experience.
You fuck!
I don't target any streamer, only the ones featured on Call of Shame.
Call of Shame. Why, a couple years ago, were you pretending to be a woman and uploading clips suspiciously aiming through rocks, just like Riley CS?
Then I saw him, scuttling up the ladder, so I took my shot.
Then you saw him? Where? Incredible work, you managed to perfectly track his elevation through the rock before he emerged. I guess you use aim trainers too. And that voice is very familiar. I played Crucible. There was a character in that game called Bug.
I protect my garden, and it protects me.
I use that TTS as one of my stream donor message readers, in memory of Bug from this dead game. So I know exactly which voice this is. And there's something kinda creepy going on here in my opinion. The voice he chose for Supergirl is called Justin, and this is what he would have seen when picking it. Justin. Male. Child. Having seen that information, he picked that one and fiddled with the sliders just a little bit.
Then I saw him, scuttling up the ladder, so I took my shot.
Sound familiar?
Then I saw him, scuttling up the ladder, so I took my shot.
I wanted to ask you this one-to-one, but I'll ask it here instead. Why were you pretending to be a woman using the AI voice of a little boy? Now, Call of Shame claims that this was a content creator he was helping with editing.
I have been assisting a new content creator over the last few days with editing and building her first video. Her name is Supergirl, and she will be taking out the cheating streamers in-game.
This Supergirl is definitely not Call of Shame. I mean, on the About page of her channel, she did use the exact same kind of weird, unnatural English that Call of Shame uses, but just ignore that part. Apparently, he's...
Oh my god, dude. I never even heard this Supergirl situation, but like, these videos need to be pushed out more, man. I mean, it's just slaughter now. It's just slaughter.
Now saying that Supergirl had nothing to do with Call of Shame. That's odd because on her About page it says Call of Shame was doing her editing. Man, what kind of weird, creepy rabbit hole have I stumbled into? And as I pointed to earlier, the channel Boren also did a more general video about Call of Shame and the Riley situation. Now, despite all of these videos getting hardly any views, Call of Shame's response has been pretty funny. He immediately started scrubbing videos from his channel, deleting deleting dozens. And he released a
back,
video
just so you guys
response
can
I
see.
briefly
Go back,
mentioned
go
any
back.
views. Call of Shame's response has been pretty funny. He immediately started scrubbing videos from his channel, deleting dozens. And he released a video response I briefly mentioned before, including that example of pretending that an AI summary was the Book of Leviticus. But he's also posted some pretty funny text dumps trying to pretend that these old cringe behaviors weren't actually him. According to Call of Shame, he was only one of 8 original creators, and primarily worked behind the scenes as a researcher. But now he has taken full ownership of the channel. Apparently, he'd only begun editing about 3 months ago. He says that all of the older content on the channel belongs to the original creators. This is a very interesting claim, given that for the past few years, going back as far as 2022, the videos on this channel were always making the same claims about working at Symantec.
But it's what I am used to. I was able to locate and fix vulnerabilities within Symantec's first double firewall, saving a huge embarrassment on release.
2022?
I headed a team over at Symantec that specifically worked to stop the injection of DLL. I headed a team over at Symantec that specifically worked to stop the injection of DLL.
I've spent decades on the front lines of cybersecurity.
It's fucking over! It's over! It's over! Actually over, dude. Oh my god.
And anti-cheat technology. I worked on Symantec's double firewall, where my mission was clear: identify threats and stop them.
I just need to say, we need to give, like, Carl's, like, editing and research, the amount of time it probably took to go back that many years to find certain videos that mention Symantec. I mean, dude, round of applause, dude. Oh my god.
And with Microsoft,
my team participated in a Microsoft
2022
anti-bribery and anti-corruption program when we were working on a popular Microsoft title. Our job was simple: catch cheaters and publicly display them on the leaderboards. I was also in charge of an independent team of developers that worked with Microsoft Studios with one goal in mind: to catch cheaters. I headed a team of experts where we literally wrote the entire source code for player stats. I've worked with Microsoft Studios
2023
to stop cheating at the highest level in many RTS games. I've worked with Microsoft Studios to stop cheating at the highest level in many RTS games.
Later, I collaborated with Microsoft to track down cheaters in Age of Empires, which, by the way, I still play to this day.
and creating the Guardian anti-cheat.
If my Guardian anti-cheat was ready and allowed by Activision, I know for an absolute fact, I would have caught every single one of them. Soon, it will be ready to be used on the competitive scene, and it will finally put an end to cheating once and for all. I've specifically designed Guardian to now detect DS4 Windows malicious scripts. I am working hard behind the scenes to really make a difference to the cheating problem. Guardian is now ready. Today, I sent everything to Activision, including the full source code. It detects cheats, scripts, Cronus, DS4 exploits, and so much more. I've created an anti-cheat to stop cheating in Call of Duty Warzone. Guardian is ready, and it's hungry for cheating streamers. Guardian has awoken, and it's hungry for cheating streamers. Let me introduce Guardian Defender. This is designed to be executed while a streamer is searching for a game. This will detect if the cheater is using Warzone Agent, and many other things designed to cheat in the World Series of Warzone. It will not detect cheat software, such as aimbot or walls. That's for Ricochet. I believe if you really wish to reach the finals, it must be done fairly. The software is free, and anyone can download it, and it's available now. Simply head over to callofshame.net and go to the download section. Don't listen to anyone attempting to discredit my work. My software has been digitally signed, reaching the highest possible level for software authentication.
I don't know what that is.
Over the past 6 months, we've been developing Guardian True Sight. This is what I'm saying, though. He said he was in the background. He was just an editor or whatever. He wasn't the person that was doing all the work. Yet, over the years and even now, he's claiming that he has the same exact what's the word I want? Accomplishments and the same exact, you know, he worked at Microsoft, all this, but yet he's the only sole owner, yet he's saying he's all this same stuff. So he literally got caught in a lie. Over the years of manipulation, it's just too much to keep track of, and you're going to stumble, and Carl and other people are going to call you out and expose you. You're a liar.
You're a liar. As a ex-Call of Shame fan, I am literally sitting here saying this guy is a liar. It's unbelievable. And people will say that I was, and this is the craziest part. They won't watch this video. They won't see all this proof. And they'll literally say that I was paid by the cheating streamers, paid by, like, fuck the cheating streamers. Get them out of the game. I can't stand them. But there's a point that I need to stand by, and I always stood by the truth. And here's the truth, right in front of our eyes, for everybody to see. Not just me, but you too. You can't defend this whatsoever. I mean, if this is what I needed to show you, I mean, and all the previous things that we've seen throughout this video to show you that something's going on with this channel, I don't know what, I can't help you. This is bad. This is bad.
Uniquely trained AI-based anti-cheat system from Guardian Labs. It's powered by advanced computer vision technology, specifically engineered to analyze Call of Duty gameplay with surgical precision.
I've even written my own anti-cheat. And no, I didn't need kernel-level access. I used AI.
And I think, didn't he say that's his real voice because AI was going to be looked at more by YouTube and they're not going to monetize AI, and he said that's his real voice? But that's an AI voice, guys. It's an AI voice.
AI-driven bots to infiltrate cheat sites, analyze loaders, extract cheat signatures, and break them down into raw data. And then, just to make things harder for cheat developers, I converted those signatures into what I called angelic script. It was an innovative approach, and it worked. I developed Ricochet Trust Score, software that leverages user mode anti-cheat techniques to validate a player's PC integrity before the game even boots, using Secure Boot and TPM long before they became industry standards.
So according to this story, despite not being an editor and being only one of 8 researchers, the channel always exclusively used Call of Shame's credentials specifically and no one else's. And the other—
he only began editing 3 months ago, but he was always just in the background. Okay.
The creators, despite being not Call of Shame, were always just talking as if they were the ones creating the Guardian anti-cheat, and they were doing this for years. So it's quite convenient that none of the other 7 people's credentials or history were ever mentioned anywhere, and they were all completely fine shilling Call of Shame's anti-cheat tools only, and nothing that they'd ever done. And Call of Shame wasn't removing videos to hide evidence. No, it was because the previous creators, the ones that no longer exist, were extremely connected within the television and music industries. And because they were so connected, they were able to freely use copyrighted materials from the movie Kick-Ass and Sia's music, and even the Game of Thrones theme. Wow. Not only was Call of Shame on the best esports team in the world, and worked with all of the biggest companies, and created the best anti-cheat ever, and is a genius with an amazing published, peer-reviewed PhD thesis, and works with the FBI, but his co-workers on this channel were balls deep in the music and film industry. It's a shame we'll never learn about who these 7 dwarfs were, because I'm sure they all have fascinating stories. And
it's just not possible. It's not possible to have that much time to be able to do that many things without something like just being just bullshitted. It's all it is. Like, you can't, Carl's exactly right here. Like, all these, you know, accomplishments, all these things to do, all these credentials that they have, it's not possible.
A giant shame that none of these other 7 dwarfs have ever come forward to identify themselves. They just shilled Call of Shame's work for years, taking no credit of their own, and then simply vanished like a fart in the wind as soon as the channel received the tiniest amount of pushback from people.
Why wouldn't somebody come forward?
In any case, these mysterious other creators that were never referenced in any videos are all conveniently gone now, and Call of Shame has risen like a phoenix as the sole owner. And apparently, despite losing 87% of the channel's workforce, video output wasn't affected at all, despite Call of Shame having a full-time job. And in another amazing coincidence, it was Call of Shame's voice that was chosen to be the voice of the channel and not one of the other creators.
YouTube's upcoming policy changes may restrict channels from using AI voices, which could have affected us making our videos. To stay ahead and make sure there are no issues, we'll be switching from an AI-generated voice to a real human one. This way, we can continue bringing you content without interruption.
What you're hearing now is the new voice for Call of Shame. Yes, this is my real voice. To be precise, it's actually the voice of one member of the Call of Shame team who has been appointed as the official voice of the channel. As many of you know, several people contribute to how the channel operates and create content, but one voice has now been selected as the main voice of reason.
Gee whiz, the coincidences are really starting to stack up here. Now, I know this is all very confusing, but let me just make sure everything is crystal clear. Since 2022, the Call of Shame channel has been talking in the first person about creating the Guardian anti-cheat software, and has been talking in the first person about working at Symantec and with Microsoft, and being on the best esports team in the entire world. But that was not Call of Shame. That was in fact 7 other people whose backstory or work was never brought up. It was them who pretended to be a girl on this channel by using the voice of a little boy. Not Call of Shame. He would never do such a weird and creepy thing. He's innocent.
No way he showed Dr. Disrespect while saying that. No freaking way.
Post, however, is that the voice used in these videos is apparently Call of Shame's real voice. And if it sounds weird to you, it's just because he runs it through a non-expressive engine to keep things calm and consistent. Well,
when you hear my voice, yes, it's my real human voice. I run it through a non-expressive engine to keep things calm and consistent because I believe that when you lose your cool, you lose the argument. I've always been a believer that emotion shows that you care. Emotion shows that you're actually into this shit. So I don't know about that.
I guess that clears that up. No further questions. I honestly don't know what is more bizarre here. The fact that this channel exists, or the fact that people actually believe that Call of Shame isn't some batshit insane fraudster who has faked basically everything about his channel, career, and so-called anti-cheat software.
This is crazy, man. This is so wild.
There is one more thing regarding Riley's play that I need to discuss because I had so many comments about it under my last video. People were claiming that Riley's skill level jumped up dramatically from the first day of the beta to the second, and this is definitely true. Her skill level did jump up dramatically. The channel 10IQ Gaming has a video exposing this.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, boys. Big aim moment. Ready? Here we go. Oh, can he land a shot? Oh, he missed. He overshot it. No way he missed. Damn. What a fuck trash can. Oh, we're coming down. No, we're going off to the right. That's the wrong way. Oh. Okay, we landed a bullet. Oh, no. That's not gonna do it. No, the recoil is just too much. I really don't understand how this 16,000 hour player just can't handle recoil.
Can I see it in full speed?
He's gonna run away. Look, he's gonna run away. He's gonna retreat and run away. Oh, if he didn't get the kill, literally in that bullet, he was going to run away around the corner.
Wait, can I see this in full speed though? Because like you're playing it frame by frame, like in real time, he killed that person. I feel like pretty fast, no? Or am I tweaking here?
The only kills that he gets, the literal only kills that he can land is kills where a player doesn't know he's there. That's the only time he wins a gunfight. If it's a fair gunfight, every single time he just gets crushed. So when do we get to see the aim training skill? Is that in the stream, or does this scrub ever make a play or just get backhanded around this lobby?
Oh, this is not. So he's playing the audio from 10IQ. But he's showing the actual gameplay.
As you can tell, this is very deep and thoughtful analysis. But there is actually a key difference between day 1 and day 2, and it's the frame rate. Notice in the day 1 clips, the frame rate is double digits, and on day 2, the frame rate is a consistent rate of over 200.
That is a big difference. Every PC player knows it's a huge difference.
Seem to think that frame rate matters, and asserts that this is just an excuse.
From noob to pro overnight. I don't give a fuck if you play Kovac and you're used to 300 FPS. Bro, you're still going to have some skill at fucking 90. And not just be a total fucking bot struggling to get more than 3 kills per game.
I need to see more of this video to
How do you go from struggling to get 3-4 kills a game?
I need to see more of this 10IQ video on the side to be able to comment on what he's saying here, because I didn't watch this video, so... Obviously, it's an hour-long video. We're going to see only a couple minutes of it, so I can't really comment too much.
To just dominating like that.
However, this just seems to be a huge display of ignorance. It's a well-established proven fact that the frame rate drastically affects aim. In 2019, Linus Tech Tips conducted an experiment comparing different frame rates and its effect on aim, an experiment which included a couple of professional gamers. And in this experiment, it showed that for the flick aim test, which is exactly the type of aiming that Riley is being called out for, aiming ability doubled, going from 60 FPS to 144 FPS. That is a monstrous difference in aiming between the two frame rates. Shroud himself confirms that FPS is the most important, specifically when it comes to this type of aiming.
When you're scanning around a map, do you think having a higher refresh rate monitor helps you identify a target more quickly?
That's where I'd say it helps you the most, because when you're moving, the faster you move, the harder it is to see on 60 hertz. If you're, I mean, the reaction time is...
If you guys have never used a really good monitor, I'm telling you, it's the best investment you'll ever make. I have a 360 hertz monitor. Oh my God. So Shroud is not lying here.
Kind of a good way to put it, I guess, because like when you're looking at a still image, nothing's going to change, but once everything's moving around, it's going to get a lot harder. So yeah, absolutely. Going from 60 to 144 is like night and day for me, obviously, right?
And also, it's worth noting that players who practice a lot in aim trainers like Kovacs are dealing with extremely high frame rates all the time. So going from what they are used to down to double-digit FPS is especially disorientating.
I want to know why it was
this
so low,
experiment, the streamer Grims performed the best at 60 FPS precisely because it was what he was most used to.
So you were the 60 hertz king today. Not only did you nail more double door shots than Shroud and Corey combined, I think, you also scored equally on your bomb site defense between 60 and 144.
I don't know. Like, I mean, like I mentioned before, like 60 hertz was, you know, pretty much like my main thing for a while. And then finally moving on, like when I switched to 60 hertz, it all kind of felt familiar. Like
I'm gonna tell you, man, I love that Carl put this into the video. Again, I don't know 10IQ Gaming's video and him talking about, you know, how Riley went from noob to pro. I gotta watch that video on the side, but I do like that he's putting this in there because it does show by this actual video and them doing their own research on camera. And if you guys know, from a low hertz monitor to a high hertz monitor to getting low FPS to high FPS, it does mean a lot. And I don't play mouse and keyboard, so I can't really talk about that, but in terms of playing Call of Duty on low FPS to high FPS, man, big difference.
Delays and, you know, button timing and all that stuff. So I was kind of able to just pick it up right away.
Also in 2019, NVIDIA conducted a study measuring the impact of frame rate on first-person shooter performance and found a direct correlation between the kill-death ratio and frame rate.
So we've explained some of the fundamental concepts, but why is this important? Why does high frame rate matter? What we have here is a chart that plots the correlation between high frame rate and success in a first-person shooter. In this case, what we've done is measured kill-death ratios in battle royale games like Fortnite and PUBG, and as you can see, there's a correlation between higher frame rates and higher kill-death ratios. If you're interested in the study, please check out the link below.
So not only...
And if you guys don't believe it, try it out yourself. You'll learn high FPS, high hertz monitor, very needed.
We have experiments proving directly that a higher frame rate improves aim, but we also have statistical analysis that also shows that a higher frame rate results in much better performance metrics.
And this is not AI generated.
So regardless of whether or not you think Riley is cheating, comparing day 1 to day 2 is an extremely weak and disingenuous argument, given that we can plainly see her frame rate more than doubled between these two streams. So her aiming ability was going to improve dramatically no matter what, given this increase. And when you couple that with the simple fact that people improve on their second day of performing any task, this increase in skill is not surprising at all and is even to be expected. But people like 10IQ Gaming don't seem to appreciate very basic concepts like the effect of FPS on performance, which has been very clearly established for many years. And then based on this ignorance, they'll use this so-called evidence to claim that Riley is cheating. And then his viewers will flood my comments telling me I'm the one who doesn't understand what I'm talking about.
Man, there's a lot of hate out there, man. There's a lot of hate in just, you know, the internet in general. But, I mean, I don't know... I gotta look at the comments after this video and see what people are saying, but I mean, he does have so many good points in this.
Quite ironic. People have also claimed that Riley's weapons have no recoil, and this is because the weapon doesn't start aiming upwards when she holds down the trigger. And again, this seems to be based on ignorance. It's as if the concept of recoil management doesn't exist. Here is Riley demonstrating that recoil exists, but you can just mitigate this by subtly moving down the mouse to compensate. I assumed this was a skill most people would be familiar with. What's incredible to me
yeah,
is
a lot of Call of Duty players don't know that either. They're always asking me, especially if I'm using the aims in Black Ops 6, which has little to no recoil already. If you just pull down just a little bit, it literally shoots like a beam, but somehow people don't know that you have to pull down when you're shooting to help, you know, control the recoil. Kind of crazy.
Despite the amount of displays of ignorance these people make, their confidence level never seems to drop or falter. They originally claimed that Riley should be a pro and that she is a great player because her aim is good, which I showed was demonstrably false. And when you look at Riley's stats for both beta periods, they aren't good at all. Shroud's kill-death ratio was 6 times higher. They claimed that Riley perfectly locked onto an enemy behind a rock, which I showed was impossible to tell and unlikely. They claimed that she couldn't have known someone was there, and I showed that the enemies were on the minimap in that direction for almost 10 seconds before that clip began. They claimed that Riley was snapping perfectly to players in smoke that were invisible, when I showed that in the original footage, the enemy was clearly visible and the snap wasn't perfect at all. They will claim that Riley perfectly snaps to enemies, when it's clear when you slow down the footage, this is almost never the case. Originally, it was the snapping that was the aimbot, and the flick to the rock was proof of cheating. Then it changed to the snaps not being proof of anything, and it was instead Riley using soft aim. They will claim that Riley improved too much between day 1 and day 2, even though the 2 days are clearly differentiated by a drastic change in FPS, which explains the difference.
Yo, Carl's cooking.
They will even lie and say that Riley was banned by EA and used multiple accounts. They will lie about Riley's ban in 2024, claiming that Twitch never makes a mistake and that Riley's appeal was denied. They will use conflicting logic when it suits their agenda, claiming that exposing Shimmy and kicking him from the team is proof that Team EXE protects cheaters and thinks cheating is acceptable. They will manufacture evidence, take quotes out of context, and manifest non-existent quotes into reality. And despite all of these mistakes, all of this ignorance, all of this flip-flopping, and all of this dishonesty, their certainty level that Riley is cheating remains and will always remain at 100%. And in contrast, despite me showing that all of their claims are completely misguided at best and intentionally fabricated at worst, I still have not, nor will I ever, say that Riley isn't cheating. Though of course they will.
And I respect that about Carl. He doesn't say that the person's cheating or that they're not cheating. He just says that this is what he thinks, but he's not 100% sure, which is what we need nowadays. It's what we need. We can never be 100% sure unless we're actually there watching them. We're looking at their computer for ourselves. But of course, we don't do that. We're just looking at clips. So we have to just put all of our information out there. We got to do all of our research and then give an opinion. But it's not fact unless we literally saw a clip of them actually being banned. Then it's like, okay, it's game over. They got banned. Obviously something like banned, like from the game, not from Twitch, but from the freaking game. Okay. Then we can say, okay, they were cheating.
To claim that I'm defending Riley or that I think she isn't a cheater, and they will continue to mischaracterize.
I don't think he's defending Riley at all. I think he's just giving his honest opinion. Now, in a way, he kind of is defending, I guess I should say, but like, I don't think it's, you know, crazy to say what he's saying is, you know, incorrect or terrible. It makes sense.
My positions and motives. They will continue to do this because they won't be able to address the actual content of my videos. Personally, I don't know if Riley cheated, either now or in the past. As I said in my previous video, the only thing I know for certain is that the most outspoken Riley detractors are the ones who are spreading the most misinformation. Every single point they have raised can be adequately explained, or is just a complete lie, so an explanation isn't even required. And until actual concrete proof of cheating or a confession is provided, I will continue to remain skeptical.
I love
as
it.
should you. Recently, someone posted to my Discord a screenshot that perfectly encapsulates a hurdle that I've always faced when I release my videos. They posted my previous Riley video to a Discord they were in, which was met with this response. Carl once again proving he's on the back foot of a topic by being a week late to the party to reignite drama.
It's called research, and I respect it.
To this person, and to many people, taking your time to investigate a situation and craft a more thought-out response is a bad thing. Me taking my time to make sure what I'm saying is correct and taking my time to try and understand a situation as best I can is a fault. For the life of me, I don't understand how one can arrive at the conclusion that spending more time thinking about an issue or spending more time to ensure accuracy is a character flaw and something that people should avoid or attack. And the fact that I release videos later than other people means that I'm doing something that should be criticized. It is simply impossible to make videos every day or just after an event and have any degree of certainty that what you're saying is correct.
That's why I always give my opinions, although I might have said that this person was 100% cheating. I mean, again, I did say we don't know, but I totally get what he's saying. You can't give a really good informative video, an hour-and-a-half video that he literally gave us right here without doing a ton of research. And I respect him for that, man. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to do that. And, you know, this is why he has over 1 million subs.
But it's shocking how many people just don't appreciate this concept. Whenever there is drama, there is always a race to see who can get their content out first. But being quick to produce content is directly correlated with how incorrect your content is.
Wow.
Personally, I will continue to take my time when investigating situations like this. And I will continue to produce videos that are far more well-researched than those that are rushed out quickly by others in an attempt to capture an audience. And I really do appreciate those of you who understand that being late is a function of being thorough.
I love that, man. I love that. That's basically the end of the video. I just have to say, when in regards to the Call of Shame stuff that he put in this, it is actually very concerning that for that many years, 3 years, we've been manipulated. I mean, obviously, I don't know. There's probably a lot of truth in some videos, but we obviously saw there's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of lies. There's a lot of manipulation. And as a previous fan of Call of Shame, as somebody that was on his channel and he gave me a lot of praise, I loved it then. I was like a little fanboy, like I said, but to see all this is just concerning, and I kind of feel stupid that I didn't, you know, do the research that was just literally right in front of my eyes. I don't know, man. It is what it is, and I learned from it, and I'm just very thankful that videos like this from Carl are out there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys made it this far, good golly, you must have had a lot of time or a lot of free time to be able to watch this. I really do appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys go check out Carl's original video in the description below. Go leave a like, go subscribe to him. The dude is insane. Videos are just top notch, and I respect people like him a lot. You know, he just he has a lot of time to go out there and research and make these videos for us, which are very entertaining. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ah, man, tough one. Peace out.